The Headless Horseman returns, chilling CCTV footage from Mexico. On a quiet April night in 2025, the small town of Tlaxcala in Morelos, Mexico, was about to become the center of a terrifying modern-day legend. Around 3:13 a.m., a municipal CCTV camera captured something so strange it left even the local authorities speechless. In the footage, now viral, a cloaked figure on horseback gallops down an empty, dimly lit street. The horse moves swiftly, hooves echoing across the stone-paved road. But what truly sent shivers down viewers' spines was what wasn't there: the rider had no head. Local police released the video after multiple residents reported hearing hooves pounding outside their homes in the middle of the night. "We thought it was just someone riding late," one resident said, "but when I looked out, there was no one on the horse." Even stranger, just minutes after the horseman vanished down the road, several streetlights flickered and died, one even exploded in a shower of sparks. No one has claimed responsibility for the stunt, and the area where the footage was captured remains quiet and unmarked. Attempts to trace the horse's path led nowhere, not even hoofprints were found the next morning. Historians note that legends of a headless horseman have been told in Tlaxcala for over a century, said to be the spirit of a revolutionary soldier who lost his life, and his head, during the Mexican War of Independence. But this was the first time a supposed sighting had been documented. Since the footage aired, thrill seekers have flocked to the street, now dubbed La Calle del Jinete Muerto, the Street of the Dead Horseman. The town has embraced the story, but many residents avoid going out after midnight. One question remains. If the Headless Horseman has returned, what is he looking for? The vanishing of Flight 715, the Black Box Confession. On March 2, 2019, Flight 715, a domestic airliner en route from Denver to Portland, vanished from radar mid-flight. No distress signal was sent, and no wreckage was ever found, until a hiker in northern Idaho discovered a partially buried black box recorder nearly 4 years later. Authorities were baffled. The plane had never been registered as flying over Idaho. Even stranger was the final recorded transmission. In the last 38 seconds of audio, the pilot's voice is calm, until he begins to describe something outside the window. "There's someone out there, hovering beside us. No wings. No aircraft. Just a face. Grinning. Watching." What follows is a low, distorted sound, like a child laughing underwater, then total silence. To this day, Flight 715 remains officially missing. The black box is authentic, according to investigators. But what it recorded, no one can explain. The Zodiac Killer Project, a meta-documentary. Based on unsettling events that resurfaced in 2025. In early 2025, a group of independent filmmakers from San Francisco launched a documentary project they called the Zodiac Killer Project. Their mission, to reinvestigate one of America's most infamous unsolved serial killer cases using AI-driven forensics, crowdsourced data, and exclusive never-before-seen letters. What began as a tribute to true crime research quickly turned into something far more disturbing, some say, cursed. The Zodiac Killer terrorized Northern California in the late 1960s and early 70s, claiming at least 5 confirmed victims while taunting police and the public with cryptic letters and unsolved ciphers. Though the case faded into cold file status, the killer was never caught. The filmmakers, 4 in total, started by collecting public records, conducting interviews with retired detectives, and building an AI tool to analyze linguistic patterns from Zodiac's letters. They released weekly updates on their YouTube channel, gaining a loyal following. But around the 6th episode, something shifted. Episode 7 never aired. Instead, a cryptic video was uploaded, black screen, distorted static, and a synthesized voice reading what sounded like a poem. The owl doesn't fly by day, but leaves no trace where shadows lay. He watched you, too, with eyes unseen. The night knows where your hands have been. Viewers were confused. Was this part of the project? Performance art? A few dismissed it. Others were disturbed by the implications, especially when one Reddit user pointed out that the lines mirrored phrases used in a lesser-known Zodiac letter from 1970, one that had never been made public. Within a week, 2 of the filmmakers deleted their social media accounts. One, Jason Lee, uploaded a final post with the caption, "We opened something we shouldn't have." Rumors began to circulate that they had received a new letter, typed, not handwritten, mailed to their studio and signed simply, Z. The letter referenced personal details about each member of the crew, including information that was never shared publicly, a childhood nickname, a hidden medical condition, even a line from a private text message. That same week, local police were called to the studio after neighbors heard a loud crash. Officers found the workspace trashed. Walls were covered in printouts of Zodiac ciphers, each defaced with red marker. The word "stop" had been written on every window and mirror. No one was inside. One camera was still recording. The footage has never been released. Only one filmmaker, Alyssa Grant, eventually spoke on record. In a brief podcast interview, she refused to go into detail but said, *, "We thought we were studying a ghost. Turns out, something was still breathing." After that, she vanished from the public eye. The Zodiac Killer Project channel remains online, with its last video frozen at over 1.2 million views. The comments are filled with warnings, theories, and timestamps where viewers claim to see a figure standing just out of frame. Some believe the crew fabricated the finale for views. Others swear the project stirred something dormant. The last comment pinned by the creators reads, "He was never a ghost. Just very, very patient." And now, some wonder, did the Zodiac ever really leave?